Hello, once again. Good health and good day. This will be my first media review. My media habits have changed considerably since learning quite a bit about how mainstream media is manipulated by different interests, private groups, and such. And yeah, so I found a much better outlet for information called the Gaia Network, which I've been watching programs on for years. And that's Gaia, Gaia. It used to be called Gaiam, but they changed it. Now it's Gaia. They have shows on so many different topics. They started out primarily doing yoga and meditation videos, things to do with health. Then they expanded into different realms. Something for everyone, really. Relevant for all of us, besides just health and history and technology and all those things, biology. So, yeah, I started out, the first show I saw in there was Cosmic Disclosure, which, like all things, is not going to be for everyone. But for me, it got me hooked because the information and the guests were just astonishing. And it's really going to shock some people because it's so much different. When you learn this kind of things, you can see why some have kept it out of mainstream media because it's quite profound and it really shifts the way you see yourself and everything else. So it starts out kind of slow. That particular show starts out mainly with just two guys interviewing, and then it expands and they get a lot more people, and it evolves as well. They get a lot better technology for showing visuals and graphics and all that images. So I can see why if you start from the beginning of that series, it's not going to grab a whole lot of people. Plus, the guests have all been pretty well demonized and villainized and smeared in some other media sources I've seen. They're whistleblowers and insiders, and there are definitely some people who do not want their information and stories to get out. So they've done smear campaigns on them that made them seem like they're lying and discredited and all that. But if you do your due diligence and go digging and follow your heart and listen to you know what they're saying. They're saying positive things, and they're just sharing some really exceptional and extraordinary stories that they've lived and been through. So it's up to you whether or not you resonate with it. But if you're not into that show, God, they've got so many others on every different subject. I just got done with Rewired from Dr. Joe Dispenza about health and brain and heart and coherence and how people create disease and also their own healing. I really like The Secret Life of Symbols with Jordan Maxwell. I've known about him for quite a while. He's an interesting character. Um, I really love interviews with extra-dimensionals. I liked it better. I saw it actually before Gaia picked that up. It was just a guy, Ruben Langdon, going around interviewing all the best channels. It's a who's who of channels. It's really great seeing how all their information corresponds and correlates and reinforces one another. It's fascinating. And again, if you're familiar with that sort of thing, we're all channeling, really. This is a channel. Anytime you're producing art or music or writing or whatever you're doing, you're kind of channeling your personality through that medium. So that's another great one. Missing Links, Ascension Keepers, and not just TV shows. There are documentaries as well. On any subject you're interested in. Psychedelica is another show on there. It deals with all kinds of different, plant-based medicines and experiences that people have had with that in a very scientific way, not, just recreationally, but, people having profound spiritual experiences using these substances that I would consider to be much healthier and safer and better than a lot of, again, mainstream pharmaceuticals. But again, that's one reason why some people do not want other people to know about this kind of stuff because they see it as a threat to their profits or livelihood, business. Again, some of this stuff is going to be very controversial and very difficult for some people to accept or believe, but that's okay. I mean, again, nothing is for everyone, but this is definitely for a lot of people. I've recommended this to one friend in particular who's gotten on board and likes the channel or the network, since they have many different shows and different formats. So this is an alternative media site. They do charge. There are different tiers and prices depending on how you do it. There's an annual fee. And if you do it annually, it comes out to a little over $8 a month. If you do it per month, it's about $12 a month as of this recording. Now, if you're resourceful, you can find all of these shows for free. People have uploaded them. I'm not going to tell you how to do that. I want to support the platform and network. So, if you know how to do those things, you can find it for free as well. But I suggest and encourage subscribing to the network because it's really good quality. You're supporting a great cause, and again, a lot of people don't know that their media has been highly manipulated and manufactured by certain interests. I've mentioned Operation Mockingbird in a previous video, where CIA has been, implanting agents and paying off reporters and editors in every different, media source you can think of: newspapers, magazines, TV programs, websites, and the official story is that it's been deactivated, but no, they're still doing it. And so it comes from this, positive place that people want to be informed. They just don't always realize that their information isn't as good as they think it is. It's often misinformation, propaganda. So I'm not saying that hasn't happened with Gaia. From what I understand, there's been some, attempts to infiltrate and manipulate there as well. But just if you compare their information versus a lot of the mainstream stuff, it's much better. It's head and shoulders much more accurate and deep and less biased and much more well-rounded. A lot of it's going to be controversial to a lot of people because it's so different than what they're used to. But I see that as a good thing. It's different in a better way, as I see it. But again, everyone has their own taste, so I'm sure some people won't like it and will think that it's lies when, as I see it, what they've been getting most of their lives is lies. So they don't really have a taste for greater truth, in a sense, because they've never really had it before. It takes some getting used to, and like I said, it'll take some due diligence on your part to do your own research to verify that a lot of the things they talk about are true and honest and real. And something that just happened today that made me like Gaia even more is they sent me this mug in the mail that I was not expecting. And it says Gaia on it. If you can't see, it's kind of light, but really nice quality. I know it's just a mug, but it's a simple gesture, and I'd actually applied to work for them and with them because I like their content so much. And I didn't hear back from them, so I assumed I didn't get the job. But this is a nice little way of saying they appreciate my interest and keep an eye out for future postings. I've never gotten a gift before for just applying to a job or being rejected. So that was a nice little thing, and they got even more respect for me now. I like that. It's a lesson to other employers that that's a really great way of boosting support for your organization. So I recommend that as an option as well. I will leave a link to the Gaia website in the description, although it's easy to find, but this will just make it a little bit easier. I haven't watched mainstream media in years, ever since I discovered that it wasn't really as good quality as a lot of people think it is. So I really don't miss it anymore. I still hear people talking about shows and things that they get from that from time to time, so I'm not completely ignorant of it. I still occasionally hear a little bit on the radio if I'm driving somewhere. I mostly listen to audiobooks or podcasts, but occasionally I do get a little taste and hear how people are being lied to and the propaganda that's being put out. You don't necessarily recognize that it's propaganda until you learn other things, see other sources of information that kind of make you say, wait a minute, that's very one-sided and just very inaccurate. So that's why I find Gaia to be much more accurate and informative. And again, I'm not being paid to endorse them. I really like them, and what I do here is share information and products that I really love and worked well for me, and I'm passing that on to others. Obviously, people have different tastes and preferences, so if it's not for you, then that's fine. I hope you enjoy whatever you're into. But for now, that'll do for this subject. I hope you're doing well. And as always, please like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Stay healthy and positive. Take care of yourself as always. Infinite love and light.